All right. Hello, hello, hello. Peace, everybody. My name is Ber-Henda Williams, and I'm the founder of Culture Shifters Unite. I'm a womanist convener and cultural strategist, host of the Ber-Henda Williams Show, and Soul of a Lead Her, the podcast for she who lives and works from the soul. And we are getting ready to start our season of unnetworking. This is season 4, believe it or not. We're celebrating our 4th season, and this is so special because we're starting this season off with seasons of womanhood. And traditionally speaking, when we talk about seasons of womanhood, we usually think of it in sort of this chronological, linear way. But we understand that life is not linear, life is more cyclical. So, what we have done is looked at life or the seasons of womanhood through the portals of the initiate, the creatrix, the oracle, the sovereign, and the luminary. And while these are archetypes, you may find yourself in fitting in more than one, which is great, but there may be one that resonates most with you. So today I'm sitting here with our luminary archetype, Susan Hollady. And so Susan is joining me as the executive director of Leadership Oakland, where for over 13 years she has organized vision, fiscal stewardship, sponsorship, and alumni engagement for this amazing program. Leaders across the region have been able to go through this amazing program and leadership development. Susan began her career early in the technology sector, earning a degree in computer science from Grand Valley State University and spending 20 years in IT leadership, including managing system engineers and consultants at EDS, and later providing CRM services with Cybel systems across the Midwest. And so her path has been deeply human. She stepped away from a corporate life to raise her daughter after the loss of her first husband and bringing her gifts into event leadership before stepping into her role that many of us know her in as today for Leadership Oakland. She is a strategist, she is a builder, and she is a steward of legacy. Susan, welcome.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I look as you're reading it, I'm like all these memories are going through my mind, right? Of what that life has been like.
Yeah.
So it's been a journey.
And I'm sure, to say the least. And so this is why I believe that seasons of womanhood is so important because, like you said, you're going through memories, I'm sure experiences, some more interesting than others. I'm sure some have produced challenges and character, but no matter where we find ourselves and what life cycle we find ourselves in, I feel as long as we keep living and as your um, bio has demonstrated for us, you keep growing and you keep expanding. And while we may experience losses, so I cannot even imagine what it's like to lose a spouse and then still navigate very real leadership. I just want to, first ask you this question. We named you the luminary, and so within that archetype, that's legacy. You've definitely have done that. Integration, more than once or twice. And you have given us presence. And so in the green room, for those of you obviously who weren't there with us, Susan said something really important about connecting with people. She says she has no agenda. And we're living in a time and space, and in many networking spaces or business spaces, it's very much who are you? What do you do? And that can be sometimes attached to productivity and what you can do for someone else. Whether Susan's approach was, how can I support you? And I think that can almost be a little, well, one, it's a breath of fresh air and very disarming. So, Susan, how did you arrive at this space of your leadership where you understand that relationships are um, paramount and that your work that you do is more stewardship versus ownership? How did that arrival come for you?
Yeah, I think it did start early on. I had the opportunity to have many clients all throughout the Midwest as I was managing consultants. And when you're doing that and they're in different industries and different personalities, you have to find a unique way to understand where they're coming from. So to me, I feel that everybody has a story. And so as I met some amazing leaders in that sector, and as I was doing technology, I learned that early on that I need to understand where they're coming from and what they need out of their systems, right? Back then it was technology. And then as I evolved, I got an opportunity in Leadership Oakland to meet 50 incredible leaders every year. And one of the things we do is we take them away on a retreat. And so what my biggest tagline with all of them is leave your ego at the county line. We go up to Higgins Lake and come as a person. And so I really have tried to build the culture within not myself, but hopefully a reflection of myself, and that to them is that we want you to get to know each other because you're going to spend the next 9 months together. And so I guess it started early on because I almost had to in the role I had in the technology space. And then it just evolved to where now that's part of the culture I bring to this organization.
Ooh. And you named something really important, culture. And I believe culture, I mean, we can define it in a number of ways, but culture is also the way in which we do things, the ethos of an organization. And as I'm also hearing you explain about this 9 months, this period of time that we're going to be together, how important is empathy and vulnerability in that development?
It starts in day one. So in this retreat, we have a storytelling piece of it. So we divide them into groups of 4, and they can get as vulnerable as they like. But in a small, safe space, they're able to share a story and whatever that story may be for them. And so we find building, again, that culture early on, that individuals have told people something they've never told anyone else in this space, because we create that safe space with this group of people in the woods up north in a very nice atmosphere that it just it gives people an opportunity to maybe share something that they want to share and maybe haven't felt comfortable sharing. So we that vulnerability, that authenticity starts, day one.
So beautiful. And when we think about the event that's coming up for us this Saturday on networking, and you are a luminary amongst other luminaries who are doing amazing work in our region, in our state. When we think about getting together in this way, what makes you the most excited about this event? And what do you think makes something like this so impactful when we have a group of women across age, race, ethnicity, orientation? What do you feel the impact and perhaps outcome of such a convening?
Yeah, I first of all, I don't know any of the individuals on the panel, so I'm super excited just to meet the other individuals and hear their stories and where they're at. But I also feel like this is going to be an event where it's going to be two-way. It's going to be more conversational versus, so I think we're going to get a lot of interaction and a lot of questions and just individuals wanting to learn. I'm in this space, maybe I'm in this one right now. How can I move to others? And when I do, what are some of the things that I can look forward to as you go through these seasons of womanhood? So I'm hoping that then participants can take away of, it doesn't matter where you're at, right? It doesn't matter in any of these 5 seasons. And you may go back and forth because, like you said, it's not linear. So it's okay to be in whatever space you're in at that time. And so I'm hoping we just have some fresh conversations with women who we all know we need our people, and put us together where we can start those dialogues, and hopefully some relationships build on that outside of this event. And we continue some of those conversations.
Oh, absolutely. And I was very intentional and deliberate because I know our ecosystem can be very small and we know each other.
Mhm.
said, you know what, let's mix this up a little bit
Yeah.
and see what happens when we put a group of strangers. And what I know about you, Susan, and some of the women that have and femmes that have come through a networking, people become fast friends. I recently saw a post on LinkedIn where someone had posted that they literally met a friend and now they're really good friends at a networking event. And when we think about friendship, Susan, why is friendship, and particularly female friendship, so important?
And maybe it's a female thing versus a male. I look at my husband, he doesn't want to go anywhere near any of those things, right? But I think we all want to feel a sense of belonging and a sense of it's okay to be okay. And whatever day you step into, right? You are who you are that day, and that's okay. And I think by bringing us together with any types of individuals, just having those conversations is important. I, I have found, and I have gone to some things where I have developed some really close friends too, as well. So I know we're having our big annual event Thursday evening with 100 people. You're welcome to come, Ber-Henda.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we are having our event, and it's alumni from all years. So we bring them together. It's our big annual event, and it's amazing to look at somebody who went through the program 20 years ago, and then somebody who went through the program this year, and they have that common bond, and so they can start conversations and learn from each other, even though they don't know each other. So I think it's just good to get women together and start conversations.
Mhm. And when we think about the burdens, sadly, that get thrusted upon the shoulders of women, female identified folks, there's so many that I hear that are in the sandwich generation where they're taking care of parents and also raising a family.
Mhm.
Divorce,
Yeah.
yeah, in the midlife, that's a thing too. Empty nesting, maybe.
Oh, big.
Yeah, yeah. Been in group chats with friends that they're seeing their babies off to
Mhm.
college, all of the separation anxiety that comes along with it, and that preparation, for the senior year. So that's a lot to hold, as many hold really real positions. They're holding really big positions, leadership positions where people report to them. In some cases, I have a dear friend that has a government job, but she's a manager and people are in her office, she said, just about every day, hanging by a thread.
Yeah.
And so she's used her life coaching certification more right,
Comes in handy.
comes very handy. Or, my dear friend who does resume writing, has shared that in the coaching process, she's using her psychology degree. So if you can name some of the things that you've witnessed on the human level of maybe some of your peers, some of the alumni, and maybe even some of the current
Yeah.
cohorts of what it's going to take now, because I think there's a different type of leadership that's required.
Yeah. No, I definitely, I look at, like you said, some of the things that the women are, have to carry. And I think we feel like we have to be strong and we have to be positive and we have to have this outgoing, personality and profile. And so I think when we are able to step back and understand what's internal, and then I think what I think the biggest thing is admitting that you don't know what you don't know, right? Leaders don't have to know everything. And I have found that when you have a team and you're honest about that, and you go find the smartest person that knows it and admit that you don't, it's better for you, it's better for your team, and it's better for the whole culture of the organization. And so I think as a woman leader, I don't think we always have to carry all that burden, and that where we have to be the strongest and the most knowledgeable person in the room. So I
Mm.
think leaders, and I heard this recently at a conference I went to, you need to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. and let them help you then pull it all together so that you don't have to know everything.
You do not. You
No.
do not. And I think that when we share things, I remember hearing anecdotally a and this came from a male preacher, and he said there was a lab experiment about how problems are solved, and all the male technicians kind of siloed when there was an issue. They tried to figure out on their own. Women technicians came together, solved the problem quicker and faster because their inclination was to
Yeah.
come together. And I thought that was so
That's
interesting.
so interesting and very true. If I came from a male dominated industry,
Yes, you
right?
did.
So, IT back in the 80s was not someone, an environment where a woman went very far. And so I saw a lot of that. And it's like, wait, let me try. I could do this a lot faster and bring people together to solve these issues. So, and I think it still exists today. And so how do we, whether you're male, female, how do you break down those barriers so that we all work together on something versus trying to do it ourselves?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am so looking forward to Saturday because, I mean, like I said, it's yourself. We have Dr. Dana Braxton, who is a specialist in menopause, perimenopause. We have Liliana Ospina, who is the voice and journalist for and founder. I mean, this is amazing that she covers Latina,
Mm.
news from across the country and highlights the impact, those who are making changes within the community. And of course, we have Samantha Barish, who is a intuitive eating coach, dietitian, being hosted in the space. Joe Braxton, Joe's Upscale Resale Shop, who I believe she is like the Jill of all trades. She has such a wonderful life and life experiences and multiple careers and passions. And it's beautiful to see that the passion is what we're literally stepping into. She's always had a passion for fashion. And I think that it's gentler on our ecosystem to have gently used or previously loved items that will
Mhm.
purchase there at her shop. But I think also too, as I've been talking to those who are coming, people just want a place to exhale, to breathe,
Yeah.
because they're carrying so much. Many of us are also now in the generation where parents are making a transition.
It's tough. You've got your own life, and now you have another life that you need to think about, and
That's right. That's
it's
right.
tough.
That's right. And we won't even get started into what's happening in our social political landscape, right? So we have all these layers. And so it's like, where can we find the release valve,
Mhm. Yeah.
together? And I think that the feminine way is to impart wisdom, is the sharing. And I love what you said about the storytelling piece. I think that that is just um, healing in and of itself, to witness and be witnessed.
Yeah. And I think I applaud you for the venue. I think that's just going to make it an atmosphere that is going to be relaxing to begin with and just inspirational, right? As you look around. I haven't been there yet, but what you've told me about this venue, I can't wait. So I think that's just going to lend itself for people to walk in that room and just have that comfortable, warm feeling before we
Mhm.
even start the dialogue and the conversation. So and for you to get this group of people, I'm so looking forward to meeting all of them.
Oh, well, I know that they're looking forward to meeting you too. This is going to be such a, I believe, a soul stirring, I believe, heartwarming event. And like you named, early at the top of our conversation about vulnerability and sharing and understanding that as a leader, you don't have to have all of the answers. It's not required. So if you could think of, who a space like this, like who would most benefit from being in the room? Who would it be? Who would you like to see in the room on Saturday?
That's a super good question. I'm already recruiting some of my peeps. But I think anyone who has just that thought in their mind of something they're struggling with, something that they're dealing with, to come into an open, comfortable, safe space and maybe get some tips or some conversations that will help them with that challenge that they're going through, because
Mhm,
we all have one. We all
Mhm.
have one, right? So and so anybody could come, but I think someone who's just struggling right now with a challenge,
Mhm.
come into this space and hear from others, feel the support around you from others. And I think it's just going to be, you're going to walk out really, really glad that you attended.
Absolutely. And one of the cornerstones that we have with Unnetworking is the ask, give wall. And what we do with the ask, give wall is just that. What do you have to offer?
Mm,
And what do you need? And I think what happens sometimes is that we don't really know what we need. Like someone's like, well, how can I support you? And it's, I'm carrying everything. I should know what I need help with, but
right.
honestly, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Or we think we can do it ourselves. We don't ask for help a lot of times, right? I love that ask give wall, because you might see something else that somebody writes
That's
and you
right.
go, wow, I really could use that as well. Or gosh, I could really help this person. I love that.
Yeah, that's right. I could use help in this area. In fact, I know I could use help in this area. I'm tired of struggling, and I really feel that in this time and space, again, we're all carrying so much.
Mhm.
Everything is so expensive, especially if you're a caregiver, but just food items. I looked at my grocery bill last week, and even without meat, like no meat of any kind, very basic. I'm talking about milk, bread, cereal. I'm looking at a $90 bill for nothing. I mean, nothing. And then I think about, I guess, my middle class problems that I could order it and have it delivered to my home. But what about the people who cannot?
That. Yeah.
I mean, literally, they cannot. They can't afford. They have to choose between their prescription and eating.
Mhm. I think, like you said, everyone is going through something. One of the things I have focused on in 2026 is doing something for myself in whatever way that looks. And for me, it's tennis. So I play competitive tennis. I had a tennis match last night at 8 p.m. I didn't walk off the court until 9:45, an hour and a half match. But that for me is like my reward and my stress relief and now I can show
I
up
want you to
here
text me next
as
time you
the best person.
I'd love to come and watch you if that's okay.
Absolutely. I've been competing for 20 years and it's my thing. And so I felt so refreshed today when I woke up, even though I had to go present to the Oakland County Commissioners on a program I'm running. But I just felt so refreshed. And I've said, I need to make sure I'm taking care of me so that I can take care of others and be there for others. So that's one thing in 2026, I said, I'm going to focus. And for me right now, it's tennis. Anytime I can play.
Mm. And I want everyone to, whether you come to this on the replay or you are listening to us live, pick a thing for the rest of 2026 for you that you will commit to. I am so inspired by that. I've enjoyed sound bowl therapy very much.
Yeah.
I want to commit now for the rest of 2026, even if it's starting with just one Saturday a month, to go to sound bowl healing one Saturday a month.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I really want to commit that to myself.
And you deserve that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, Susan, I am so excited about having you. If you have listened to anything here and it sparks you and you know that you've been carrying more than your share, more
Mhm.
than the body, can handle, please come and join us and share your wisdom as well, but also be poured back into. We still have tickets available. We're a little over now. We're a little over the halfway point. So if you've been kind of thinking, oh, I
Pull
don't
the
know,
trigger. Let's do it.
let's do it. Please, let's go ahead and do it. Because like I said, we're a little bit over the halfway and these events do tend to sell out. So please, we only do them once a quarter. So please don't wait another quarter, another season to exhale and to breathe. And so, Susan, I'm so excited about having you. And yeah, text your
Thank
peeps and say,
you.
like, she's halfway there. So come on, get your tickets.
Sign up.
Yeah, sign up because you don't want to miss this season of womanhood, because there's so much that I believe happens in our life cycle of becoming and tending and expanding and growing, but most of all, just the support you're going to receive in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Susan, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're so welcome. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you Saturday. Unless you
Yes.
come to Taste of LO on Thursday.
It just hit me that I'm supposed to go to I have a fundraiser to go to, but I will be at the next one. And
Okay.
I want to come see you at your tennis match. So please let me
All
know
right.
about the next one.
I
And I
will
think
do
that's
that.
something that my dad would probably enjoy too.
Aw.
So, but I love seeing people in their passion and doing things that makes them excited. So please just let me know, and I'd love to come to your tennis match.
No, I would love to have you. It's my passion.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We will see you on Saturday, my friend.
Okay.
And
Thank you so much.
and we'll see
As
you.
always. All right.
All
Bye.
right. Bye. Have a great one.
You too.